Hello, this is Salvatore Vinciguerra. Welcome to the Fort McAllister State Park in Richmond Hill, Georgia. The Fort McAllister State Park is located approximately 45 minutes away from Savannah, Georgia, and is easily accessible from I-95. This is a map of the Fort McAllister State Park, and the day use area includes picnic areas, a children's play area, fishing pier, and boat ramp. The museum and office, signal tower, and the fort are separated, and there is an entrance fee in order to get into those areas. Then there's pioneer camping as you travel south, cottages that overlook the water, and as you travel through the marshes, you will reach the RV and tent camping areas. This is the children's play area, and there's a rock climbing wall, swings, and then there's a little area for parents to sit down and watch their children. This area is called the fitness zone. I've never seen this before in a state park, but they do have one. They have a place where you can come and work out in the park. There are covered picnic areas that have bathroom facilities and viewing areas of the water. And there's a pier where you can either watch the sunset or you can even go fishing out here. The visitor center and museum is open from 8 to 5. Admission to the fort and museum, which I thought was very nice and very family friendly, was $9. So it's a very nice place to visit if you're ever near Savannah, Georgia. The first exhibit explains who lived here first in this area of Georgia, and that was our Native Americans, and they were the Gale Indians, and they have artifacts from the Indian settlement that they had here. And then next to that is an exhibit that talks about the colony of Georgia and their independence. This exhibit shows you the camp life at Fort McAllister and how they lived in tents. A 10-minute movie explaining Fort McAllister and the history of it and the Civil War and how it was even brought back to life by Henry Ford in the 1930s. This is one of the rooms where they have some of the ships, and they describe how there was a war at sea, and they've even tried to go and discover the battlefield at the sea in modern times to dig up some of the wreckage to see if they could find it.
Bernard went down the river this morning to take a look around. He no sooner got
These are some of the weapons and the uniforms that they would have worn during the Civil War.
We assembled the garrison and took charge of the guns. We both looked at one another for about a half hour when the vessel let fly one shot at us, which struck about 50 yards from the guns on the inside of the battery and bursted, but done no damage.
The river finally was broken when the Confederate blockade runner Nashville, trying to sneak past the Union flotilla, ran aground just upriver from the fort. The Montauk went low to the Confederacy, which depended on these blockade runners for much-needed supplies. Despite this Union success, Fort McAllister held its own, and 1 week after destroying the Nashville, the Union Navy with
This is the site of the sinking of the CSS Nashville Rattlesnake, and it happened in July of 1862. These are the officer huts. See, there's 2 bunks in here. A little chimney and some stools. And then across from that, you have the barracks. Here's the blacksmith shop. And they would have needed a shop like this to build the artillery and to make the fort itself. The designer of Fort McAllister was Captain John McGrady, and he was a student at Harvard University and then a professor of mathematics at the College of Charleston, and then he later became one of the Confederate engineers. It's very nicely laid out for tourists to come here and take pictures and see the grounds that Henry Ford refurbished. This area is called Central Bomb Proof, and it was used as a hospital during the Civil War. And it's underground. They have it lit so you can walk in here and visit. You can see how big it is. You can have people on top and people on the bottom. It's a great place just to come and walk around. This is the Hotshot Gun. It's a pretty huge gun that overlooks the water. This is the Gunpowder Magazine. This is where they store the gunpowder and the ammunition. This is the land in back of the fort, and this is where the Confederate soldiers placed landmines in case they were going to be attacked from different points of view from the fort. They had something in position to protect them. And then that sits right across from something called Sally Port, and this is the entrance of where the wagons would come through to bring in the ammunition to the fort. Here is the 2018 information and rates for campsites and cottages and other activities that they have at the Fort McAllister State Park. Please visit the Georgia State Park's website for more information. They have some pretty nice cottages here that you can rent out, and you can see how that could be a nice thing to do if you're going to be staying in the Savannah area. And then in the center of that they have a little play area. This map shows you the campsites at the Fort McAllister State Park. All sites are water and electric at this time, but they are upgrading and improving all sites so that they include the sewer. There is a dump station, but there's also laundry facilities, 2 ADA sites, and a separate tenting area. At the bottom of the screen, you can also see how they have their own children's play area, boat ramp, and boat dock. This is my campsite, and you notice it is not site specific. When you get here, you get a card from the front office, and then you select the site that you like, and then you tag your site, and you hook up, and that is your site. In comparison to Florida, the sites are very specific, and you choose and reserve that specific park. But here in Georgia, it's a little bit differently. Each site has a fire ring and a picnic table, and you notice that it is a pull-through site, so it's easy to get in and out and very helpful. The campsites have their own fishing pier, fishing station, and boat dock. This is the comfort station. You can take a shower, or there are bathrooms inside, and there is a place for you to park your bike and picnic tables. They have a meeting shelter where you can reserve it if you're going to be having a camp meeting or even a family reunion. This is the children's play area inside of the campsites, which is pretty big. This is the boat launch area, and they rent kayaks and other watercraft for you so that you can visit the other part of the park, which is also in the waterways around Fort McAllister State Park. There's a lot of fishing and boating that could happen in this area. This is Salvatore Vinciguerra. Thank you for watching this video on the Fort McAllister State Park in Richmond Hill, Georgia. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to this channel, and have a great day. Thank you.